Welcome to Zero to Gold Cap. This is a challenge where I'm going to go from 0 gold all the way up to a gold cap, which if you did not know, a gold cap is 10 million gold. So we have a very big journey ahead of us. We'll be exploring and checking out many different methods of making gold. Our main goal is to reach a gold cap in liquid gold. So 10 million liquid gold in our bags that we can spend. Follow along and let's make some goddamn gold. Let's go. Welcome to episode number 8. So what we're going to do is we're going to first open all the mailboxes that we have and collect all the gold that we've got in sales. So we'll go through all of our flippers and we actually have 154,000 gold on this realm, which the first realm is area 52. So that's super nice. We got another 33k on this realm. Now if we keep an eye on the very top number, this is definitely going up nicely. So we sold some plans just there for 71,000. This is going to bring up the total gold that we have to nearly 400,000 gold. And we've still got a bunch of our flipping realms that we need to go through. A lot of the sales that we're getting, as you can see on that realm, they're all war within recipes on that one realm. But the war within recipes, they've been going really well and they've got good profit margins. I've been picking them up extremely cheap with flipping power on the cheapest possible realm on my whole region. But after emptying this out, we have a total of 541,000 liquid gold, and we have a bunch of sales and data we can see. As you can see in our journalator, we had a really big flip right there. All of these have insane margins where we're making thousands and thousands of gold, tens of thousands of gold on some of these flips. So super stoked with how the flipping is going. We've been making a bunch of gold. Here's all the materials and all the different items that we actually flipped. Now we're going to do a farm. So we're going to head over to Firelands. So this is an old raid. And now what we can do with Firelands is, first of all, you can have a potion of treasure finding. This will allow you to get the tiny treasure chest. Inside of tiny treasure chest, there's a bunch of different cat materials, which are used in player housing. So what you want to have is you want to have enchanting, so you can disenchant all of the junk greens. And you also want to have skinning, so you can actually skin the savage leather. And now why we want savage leather is it's actually used in player housing. So the prices of all of the player housing materials, they've been going up and down like crazy with people investing into them for speculations. But now that we actually have the actual craft list of what materials are used for what crafts, the materials are really going up that are actually being used. And with this farm, there's a bunch of different materials that are used in player housing. So the main and obvious one is your savage leather. However though, from the tiny treasure chest that you get from the potion of luck, inside of the tiny treasure chest, you get a bunch of different cat materials. And nearly every single one of these materials are used in player housing crafts, and the prices on these have went up like crazy. So you've got all your different volatiles that you get from those tiny treasure chests, and they're all used in decor. You get the savage leather, you get from skinning the mobs, it's used in decor. And then the final thing, once you disenchant the junk greens that you get from here, the junk BOEs that are not worth selling on the auction house, the dust that you get from it, it's also used in player housing in decor crafts. So pretty much all the materials from this farm are used in player housing, and the prices of these have went up like crazy. So this is a great farm to do. And basically what we're doing is we're basically just killing all of the trash mobs in Firelands. We're not killing any of the bosses, because if you actually kill a boss, you won't be able to reset the instance. You won't be able to reset the raid because you'll be locked out. So it's very important that you kill 0 of the bosses when you're doing this farm. And what you can actually do is you can run Firelands and do the run that I just did, just killing the trash. You can do this 10 times per hour, and you can make a lot of gold from doing this, depending on the prices, because like I said, these materials, the prices have been going up and down like crazy. But before the prices had went up, this was around like 15,000 gold per hour, 20,000 gold per hour. But now after player housing has made the prices go up so much, it's definitely way more from doing this farm. So it's a good farm to be doing at the moment, and it's just something nice and different. It's actually a pretty good farm to do. It's pretty chill compared to just open world farming or something like that. But as you can see, we reset the instance, and this will reset a Firelands. We go back in and we can do this another 9 times within the hour before actually getting locked out. But moving on to the next farm, we're going to be doing a skinning farm. And now the main reason why I thought of doing this farm is because cobra scales have went up to 500 gold, which is it's crazy. So where this farm is located is in Nagrand, and this is over in the TBZ zones in Outlands. So you want to head over to the far west of Nagrand, and you're going to find this spot right here. I recommend using a stinky bright potion. That's what I'm going to be using. And as you can see, it brightens up this location just so you can see the snakes on the ground a bit better, because they're the mobs that we're going to be farming, the Twilight Serpents. And now why we're actually farming these is for one material and one material only, and that is going to be the cobra scales. So here's a nice little macro that I'm going to be using. It basically just targets the mobs for me and also casts a moonfire, so I can just run around spamming this macro and it will automatically target them and also cast a moonfire on them. So obviously you want to kill them, skin them up, and as you can see we just got our first cobra scale and they're going for 500 gold a pop, which is insane. So after doing some testing, we figured out that you can actually make a lot of gold from doing this farm. You do want to have a druid. It's pretty important to have a druid so you can fly from location to each location, because you have to go over this mountain because there's snakes on one side of the mountain and there's snakes on the other side. So to have a druid with instant flight form to fly over there saves you a lot of time. But I ended up doing half an hour of this farm. As you can see, we made about, 16,000 gold in half an hour. So if we were to do this for an hour, we would be looking at around 32,000 gold in an hour, which is very, very nice. So that's going to be coming from cobra scales and also from the not hide leather that we get from skinning these mobs. So 32,000 gold per hour is actually really good. But this is only why the cobra scales are at 500 gold. Once they drop down, this won't even be close to 25,000 gold per hour. So for now, it's very good. If you would like to level up your gold making and make a bunch of gold in World of Warcraft, then I recommend checking out Goldcapped. Goldcapped is a community project where all of the best gold makers make gold guides for you, teaching you all of the latest and best methods of making gold in all versions of World of Warcraft. On the website, we have live price data, so you know if an item is worth farming or is not. We have a bunch of different guides on Goldcapped, anything from gold making guides to flipping guides for all versions of World of Warcraft. We also have a team of the best gold makers that are there to help you out with any questions that you have about making gold in any versions of World of Warcraft. So make sure you go ahead and join the Discord. If you want to become a member, we have two options for the subscription, which is $10 per month or $100 per year. If you go with the yearly option, you save an extra 15%, and on top of that, if you use code Buffy10, you also save an extra 10%. Let's get back to the video. Moving on to the next farm though, we're going to head over and we're actually going to do another skinning farm. So we're going to head down and we're going to do the baby croc skinning farm. And now from this farm, you're going to be getting savage leather, which as we spoke about is used in player housing. And then also you're going to be using your potion of treasure finding to actually get the tiny treasure chest. So the farm is located in Oldham at this location right here. So you fly right down to the bottom of Oldham and you're going to find basically this like pool thing, and inside of it you're going to see a bunch of eggs. This is where you need to be. You want to make sure that you have cataclysm skinning and preferably have it maxed out. You also want to make sure that you're using a dark moon firewater, and also you can use your movement increasing consumables if you want to. It's not that important with this farm because what we're actually going to be doing is you just run over the top of the pile of eggs and a bunch of baby crocodiles will spawn on top of you. You do one AoE ability to kill them all, and then you go ahead and skin those up. So I'm going to be rinse and repeating that process on these 3 different patches of eggs. And because there's 3 different ones, what we can do is I can just rotate around all 3 and there will constantly be mobs up that I can run to. And you just want to run over the top of them, and just by running over the top of them, it will spawn the mobs on top of you, as you can see. Then I just do a swipe, AoE, and then I just go ahead, skin them all up. And now when you're looting them, because we're using the potion of treasure finding, we are going to get the tiny treasure chest from looting them. But then on top of that, we also get a bunch of different materials when we actually skin them. Then also inside of the tiny treasure chest, and also the bloated stomachs. So if we go ahead and have a look in our bags at the moment, you can see we have a bunch of the tiny treasure chests. So let's go ahead, open those up and see what's inside of these. So we've been doing the farm for about 25 minutes now, and these are all of the chests that we got. But as you can see, there is a wide range of different cat materials in here, and also raw gold. So it adds up very, very quickly. And these are all materials that are used in player housing crafts, and so they have a very high demand up on the auction house at the moment. Now in the bloated stomachs, you get volatiles, as you can see, a bunch of different volatiles. And then what we can do with the leftover BOEs that are not worth selling on the auction house, we're just going to disenchant those, because the dust is actually used in player housing decor crafts also. So we can go ahead, sell that up on the auction house very, very easily. So this is a pretty good farm to be doing at the moment. As you can see, if we look, our gold per hour is roughly around 25,000 gold per hour from doing this farm, which is actually pretty good considering we're so far into the expansion. But now what we're going to do, we're actually going to do some crafting. Because we have like 500,000 gold, 541,000 gold, liquid gold, we might as well invest that into some crafting. So we're going to use my TSM crafting operations. I've been playing around with these for the past like 6 months now. This is for cross realm crafting mainly that I use it for myself. And I've got it sorted out from like realm specific or region wide materials and stuff like that. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and we're going to find out what is worth crafting at the moment. So if we use TSM, we can do a restock, and we can go ahead and this will restock our operation right here. We can go ahead and buy all of the materials that we need to do the crafts. We're going to buy a bunch of these, plan on doing a lot of crafts here. So we'll go through, we'll use TSM to buy the materials, as you can see right here. Now, if you haven't used this feature before, it's basically with TSM task list. And what you can do is you can actually use it to help you buy the items. Another thing I'm going to do, there's some good items that I know have a good sell rate, and they only cost like 5 gold to craft. So like the tuxedo stuff, so like the pants, the shirt, this only costs like 5 gold to actually craft this stuff. It's insane. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 50 of all of these different ones. They have a very high sell rate, just because they literally cost 5 gold to craft these, and we could resell these for a couple thousand gold. So we might as well have one of these on every single selling realm that we have set up on so far. We do only have, I believe, 20 selling realms, and I am making 50, but I know these items sell very quickly. So what I'm doing is basically overstocking them, and then as they sell, we'll take them out of the warband bank, put them up on the auction houses where they've just sold. But if we look at our estimated profit, it's about 776,000 gold profit from just spending 125,000 gold. So I'm super happy with that. Obviously all the items won't sell right away, but the items that we're focusing on, how we have the crafting operation set up, the higher the sell rate is, the cheaper the item can be. But if it's priced high, the sell rate can be lower. So basically we're only crafting items if they're low value that have a very, very high sell rate, and if they're very, very high priced items, like very high value, they don't need as a high sell rate. So that's how I have the TSM crafting operation set up. So it will go through all of the recipes and crafts that I have learned in the professions, and it will only basically tell me to craft the ones that are going to be very profitable and also based on the sell rate. So this way we're not crafting items that have like a 0 sell rate that will never sell. We're just focusing on items using actual data and only crafting items that are going to sell. So basically what we did is we put it up on the auction house, well, in the warband bank first. And now what we're doing is we're going to put my profession TSM operation, we're going to put that with my cross route flipping one. And this way we can post my cross route crafting items with my cross route flipping items. So we can post them on the same characters, and this just makes it a lot easier. So now we've got everything in the warband bank. As you can see, a bunch of different items. We've been crafting now for about an hour or two, just crafting a bunch of all of these different crafts. It ended up taking a fair while, but we got it all crafted and up in the warband bank and on the auction houses. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use flipping power. We've got a bunch of gold left over. We're going to buy some flips. We're going to start off, we're going to buy some war within recipes. These have been working extremely good for us. So we're going to make sure that we keep stocking up on more and more of these war within recipes, because we've been selling these like hotcakes. It's It's actually insane. But as you can see, Flipping Power, we're using the new updated version. So there's a whole heap of new filters and a whole heap of new features that we can actually use. And what we're going to do is we're going to first of all buy all of the War Within recipes that are worth buying on our region. As you can see on Tichondrius, a bunch of deals. We'll go ahead, we'll get the auctionator operation to buy those, log into Tichondrius, import it, and we'll go ahead and start buying out these War Within recipes. These have been really good. So we've got like 20 realms that we're selling on at the moment, and every single day when we log in, there's like, you know, a few all the way up to like 10, 15 War Within recipes that have sold. So these are definitely our best selling items so far. I think it's also what we've made the most amount of profit, just because the sheer volume of War Within recipes that we've been selling in this challenge. Like we've probably sold close to, you know, 500 to 1,000 War Within recipes. So they've been selling extremely good. So I'm just having a little look now, playing around, seeing what the War Within BOEs look like. See if there's any good deals on Tichondrius that we can go ahead and pick up. Flipping the War Within BOEs, it's pretty risky because we are so far into the season. So you just got to be careful, make sure that you're picking them up for a cheap price. I feel like the recipes are a pretty safe bet though, the War Within recipes, because even when the War Within is over, people will still want those recipes. People that collect all the recipes for all the professions. So they're definitely a lot safer to be flipping than the War Within BOEs at the moment. But as you can see, I'm just buying a bit of everything. If it is a good deal, I'm just buying it based off the data. I'm kind of not sticking to any one like category or one sort of item. We're just buying whatever has good profit and a good sell rate, and the other data from Flipping Power. But anyways, let's go through all of our flipping characters and see what sales we have. First round, we have 336,000 gold in the mailbox. Super nice. I think this was on Area 52 that we have these sales right here. A couple of really big sales. What was it? A couple of transmog pieces, some War Within BOEs actually, recipes, a good mixture of different items there. Next round, we've got around 50,000 gold. Brings us up to 600,000 liquid gold. 177,000 gold on this round right here. Bunch of War Within recipes, BOEs once again, a couple of transmog pieces and pets. We got a bunch of the weird cloth bags on this round. That brings us up to nearly 800,000 gold. Oh, we've got 200,000 gold in here. I think it was 197,000. And that brings us up. Are we at 1 million? Oh, we're so damn close. We're 4k off. And there we have it. There's 400,000 on here. What did we sell? Some of the saltstone leggings. Okay, so that brings us up to 1,400,000 gold. So that's 1/10 of our way to the goal, I guess. So we're on our way there. I'd say that brings us up to what, 14% of our way to the total goal. But I can see all of our realms have sales on them pretty much. Some of them just have a few of the bags or a few recipes. Others of them have a lot more sales, like that round right there. That brings us up to 1 million, 1.7 million. Damn, 1.7 million. So actually nearly 20% of the way there. We're 17% of the way to the goal. Obviously we have millions of gold worth of items posted up on the auction house still. We will check out the spreadsheet at the end of this episode and see what the actual numbers are looking like. But sales are coming in really, really good. I would say the main things that are holding us and making us go ahead would definitely be the War Within recipes, the BOEs, and obviously the high sell rate items we're getting from Flipping Power. So on all of our 20 realms that we're selling on, we have a total left of 7.6 million gold worth of items. And that's posted up on the auction houses, and we have over 1,000 items. So the numbers are definitely going up, and it's looking really good for the challenge. Now that we have 1.7 million gold in liquid gold, we have a bunch of gold to invest into more flips and also crafting. So we're going to start off by probably spending the next episode doing a bunch of buying. I mean a bunch. Our goal will be to increase the auction house value from the 7.6 million that we have now to hopefully over 15 million. We'll see how we go. We'll have to be very picky with the deals that we buy for flipping, but we'll make sure that we really increase that auction house value to a better amount. However guys, that was it for this episode. If you've been enjoying this series, be sure to hit the thumbs up button and also subscribe to the channel for the next episode. Also, if you haven't seen the first episodes of a playlist where you can watch from episode 1 all the way up to the current episode, they'll be linked down below in the description box. Until the next one guys, take care.